client, so we're working on her complete brand as well.
Oh, so somebody was just hanging up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Milka, one of our clients.
Do you need another minute before we all get together?
No, we're great. We're good.
Okay.
Look at this. You're bringing your lady party. We got our lady party. Did we dropped off? We probably should have, we can let Melissa at one time meet Jez. Today's not the right day. He's been really, goodness, so excited. He's been working on, wow, the amount of things he's been working on. He's so excited to have you see them. He's gone, I think he's gone through his own blood, sweat, and tears of trying to make the Golden Girls work and all these things, putting them together. But it's been a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, well, so to your party you got going on, lady.
We're welcoming two more people who are not here right now. Ariana, who has been our web design person, who got her first update today, and she's hopefully jumping on this call.
I'm here.
And
I don't know why.
You're here, sweetie?
Yeah, I got to change my name up there.
Okay, there you are. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
There you are. And then we're missing still Anne-Marie from South Africa. But I'd love to jump in and get going before she jumps on. It's 4 a.m. in South Africa. And what time is it there, Star? Where are you? What time is it there?
It's 6 here. I'm 2 hours ahead of South Africa.
Okay, cool. Well, I just want to really thank everybody for all the work and love and interest that has brought us to this moment. And I'm really excited for you all to meet each other. You've been hearing little bits about each other. And I'm aware that I have an hour-long call with Rhonda and Star and Vic. And maybe Ariana, you're going to end up wanting to stay on a little bit longer. And that the Golden Bridge ladies who've been in the office since whatever hour this morning. There's Anne-Marie. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi.
Good morning.
Am I in the right meeting now?
Yeah, you are. Hi, sweetheart. Anne-Marie usually shows up with like bright red lipstick and
Please excuse the way I look. I'm not even putting all the lights on.
Well, I'm just so excited for you all to meet each other. And I thought maybe what we could do is just take a minute and do a loop around the circle. Your name, where you are, and just a teeny, like a sentence about what your role is in the conversation with Golden Bridge at this point. And then we can take it from there and take a peekaboo at what's been happening. And so I'll start. You know who I am. Okay. I'm Melissa, and I'm deeply devoted to creating something so beautiful that represents the intelligence of who I am, who we are, and all the good work that's happening through all of you, because there's so many hands coming together, and we're going to have this new alchemy growing out of this group, and what comes of it is exciting to me. And I feel really confident with this gathering of souls, and that's a big statement for me. So thank you all.
Awesome.
Who's next?
Yeah, Star, you want to go up? We'll just go up and around.
Okay. I think I'm next then. Is that right? I know you guys. Okay.
All right, I'll go next. So I'm Star. I am originally from South Africa, but I'm now in Mauritius. I am the VIP client manager, so I'll be working closely with Melissa and probably a lot of you ladies. And yeah, I'm excited to work with you and to get this launched and out to the world.
Awesome. Yay.
Hi, ladies. I'm Rhonda. I'm actually from the U.S., from Michigan, living here now in Bali. Been traveling for the last 11 years. I am the CEO of the Unstoppable Branding Agency. My art from my heart, my essence is helping others take their visions, what they have, and package it up and productize it. And then, of course, bring it to the world. And my tagline is that I create sexy brands and turn them into profit-making machines. So my mission is sexy and sellable, right? So we can have great ideas, yet, man, we have to be able to bring that into the world in a way that makes them really take that on and bring it and forward. And Melissa's project is just something that is going to be so easy to do that for and with, and we are so honored to be just connected with such divine amount of human beings, especially full of a lady crew is like, yes, we thrive on our lady vibes around our company. My husband's the independent one, so yeah, but it's really lovely. Thank you. Nice to meet you and having the opportunity.
And Rhonda has a teenage daughter who's got her own clothing line that's gone global. And so she really understands about working with young girls in a pretty extraordinary way.
Yeah. Right, who's up? I think Sarita, I think you're next if we're going around the horseshoe.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Sarita. Happy to meet you. Can you hear me okay? How about there?
Yep.
Yeah? Great. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here with you all. I've been working closely with Golden Bridge for many years now, and I'm just devoted to the humans on the path and to the work evolving and becoming more and more of itself and full. So this is an exciting moment. Thank you.
And Sarita has also a very deep pulse, maybe more than any of us, of the images that are logged with Golden Bridge, and just has spent a lot of time and deep devotional energy really sorting out what's magnificent with in our image bank, since we're doing the visual thing today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lady in the middle there.
I think it's a different order for everybody.
Maren, why don't you go ahead? Maren, go ahead.
It is the different order for everybody, so we just need to be called on, and I'm ready. Hi, everyone. I'm Maren, and I am calling from the Golden Bridge office in Boulder, Colorado. And with Golden Bridge, I primarily do operations. My background's in education and some organizational development, and worked for a lot of nonprofits, so I help Melissa a little bit with organizational development, but the bulk of what needs to be done right now is operations, so that's what I'm doing.
Meta view, Maren. Mariah.
I'm Mariah. I am Melissa's daughter, and I am currently in Miami, Florida. And I have been working kind of production manager and international coordination of programs. And so I'm a social worker, so kind of doing a bunch of different things, helping Golden Bridge.
Awesome, nice to meet you.
I taught my first dance class to Chillins when Mariah was 3. And
yes!
the work has grown up with Mariah and her generation, which is Maren and Sarita, and I think you too, Vic. How about you, Vic?
Hi, I'm Vic. I am originally from the UK, although I've been based out in Bali for coming up 3 years. So it's almost my 3-year anniversary of working with Rhonda, and it's been an incredible journey that I feel very grateful for, because it allows me to meet wonderful people like Melissa and everybody else and work on these incredible projects. So I'm one of the VIP client managers, and I also coordinate our events as well. We usually have an event every year, one in Orlando and one in Bali as well, which is a great blessing, and I love it. Crazy, but I love it. So very excited to work with you all.
Thank you. Ariana, who is really, I love that you're smack in the center there. Tell us about you.
Well, I'm all the way to the left on my screen.
And you're on the right on our screen, on my screen.
Cool. So I'm Melissa's, I suppose you could say, go-to for everything digital, graphic, web, basic social media. I'm not really doing like marketing for her or anything, but I do all the images, which Melissa honestly has so much of the vision, and then I just use my skill to craft it. And so yeah, I've been really the web person as well. Tried to just rescue the site from its ancient its ancientness, and it's been a long road over the few years. You know, mostly we've just made it usable and friendly, but I know that we're on the verge of really wanting to
craft it into something more dynamic, more inclusive of the whole organization, and really tell our story better. So I've been really looking forward to working with other people who can help piece together that vision of how to present that, energetically, practically, platform-wise, all the details from the mundane to the overarching view. So I'm glad to be here and to get to be a part of this conversation. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just want to say it's a big deal for somebody to have cultivated something and be as open and as interested in the collaboration as you are, Ariana. It's a real testimony to you as an artist and a being. And, bottom line is Ariana needs to make sure that the systems are such that she is comfortable and interested in helping sustain them and grow them. So she'll be a really important person in the conversation, of course. And our friend from South Africa, Anne-Marie.
I'm still getting used to this Zoom. Sorry, can you hear me? I'm based in Cape Town, and my background's in film, in production. So I've worked a lot over the last sort of 15 years, very much focused on sort of online digital brand campaigns that communicate the messaging of organizations through video content. And this is, I'm committed to sort of content that really speaks to meaningful stories like this one. And this is basically just like the dream come true project for me, working with women and telling stories that are so important for people to know. So yeah, that's why I'm so excited about this specifically.
And you are really going to carry the visual storytelling through film of Golden Girls Global. And part of how you came in is that you've already begun that project with Hannah, who's one of our longtime colleagues and students, and you've been working with her and the refugees girls in town. So you're already in this material deeply.
Yeah, I'm really lucky to work with Hannah in Cape Town with the group of young refugee girls who we've been working with for the last sort of 4 years. So yeah, so that's been a really amazing experience as well.
And it was your visuals that said, oh, I definitely want to work with this woman. Like totally.
Okay.
Cool. So Rhonda, what do you think? Is it a show and tell kind of time? And no one has seen the logo that we've been working on, and a bunch of people haven't seen some of the work that Culture Foundry did. And we know at this point, Culture Foundry is really going to just be giving us everything they've developed. If we decide that they make sense to be our team to actually lay out a website, we'll know that down the road. But right here, we've got so much intelligence between the Unstoppable team and Ariana. So we're not making that decision yet. We're just kind of getting to know each other and trying to get the branding together. That's the commitment that Rhonda and I have for June. July obviously is downtime, focused on the work, and Anne-Marie will be there. And then in August, the hope is to get very, very focused on taking the content of Youth on Fire and putting that together as an online course, which will set the stage for a lot of other things. And then slowly over the next 6 months, we're hoping by January 1st, if I had my druthers, we'd have a full launch of Golden Girls Global and the new website. And we'll just see where we are. Yeah. And full launch of Golden Girls Global, I don't think is true fully. I don't know that it will be a business model yet, but we can start hinting towards it. That's going to take a little more time to develop. Okay, what do you think?
Yeah,
show and tell time?
Let's do that. Yeah, we're really excited. So obviously we've been working with the Dancing Lady, and we're maintaining the integrity of everything that Melissa believes and all that you've all created. And I think we've really came to a really amazing look, feel, and conclusion of how free that she is. And that was the biggest mission. How can we allow her just to feel free? And I think we've nailed it with support, right? With that golden support. And then what we've also done is we've started to look at and foresee this vision of taking the work and putting it into a course that can be delivered and consumed by more than just Melissa's voice, right? And through the book. And so we started to take that concept and bring the Dancing Lady into all of these other areas that we would like to be represented as. By the way, Melissa, this
Yes.
gecko loves you. Never, ever does this gecko go off until I'm on with you. I'm
That's
serious.
so funny.
I have this huge gecko this is in my office. He's up here, up in this like Balinese joglo. And he's done this every time we've been on the phone with you.
That's so funny. He's calling us. He's calling us.
So that's our geckos. All right. So who's holding the container for the logos? Is that you, Star? Or is that Vic?
Yeah, we both have them. I can pull them up if you like.
Yeah, so Jez is one of our head designers. He's really taken on this Golden Girls feel, and he really was like working towards bringing these ladies together. So he created a few ideas, and obviously would love to get all of your feels from it, because I think it's the only way it's going to work.
So there's Golden Bridge, and then there's Golden Girls Global. And, you know, by the way, nothing is signed, sealed, and delivered. We're here in conversation.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
your immediate responses is really important.
Yeah.
So let's just start at the pure logo, what we were looking at last week. There it is. Great. And Ariana was all over the fact that the Golden Girl needed to be freed up. And this is that perfect solution.
Oh, good. What do you think when you look at it?
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. I'm not a logo developer. I don't use Illustrator, so I just had removed the circle, but I think if you're going to keep the circle, I think that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It does evoke a moon to me, so one that question of if there's meaning there, that just aesthetically, yeah.
Yeah, you're just breaking up, sweetie.
Really?
Now you're great. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try again. I was just gonna. Forgive me if I repeat myself. I'm not an illustrator, so in my own working with the logo recently, I had just removed the circle. And what I was saying is that if you're going to keep the circle, I think this is a gorgeous variable. I mean, a gorgeous option. And it does remind me a little bit of a moon, which almost begs the question if that's part of the story or if it's just aesthetic, but I don't think that's a huge question. So yeah, good start at the very least. It's beautiful.
Anybody else have a response? There's no right or wrong, and ultimately I start to get confused when I hear from everybody, but I still want to hear from everybody because I have my own feeling about it. And it really is important that different voices share because we'll have different people looking at it.
These are the main variations, right, Victoria? There's some other variations that you can...
Yeah, we have others. If you want me to move on, just let me know and we can look through it.
My only question, if I may, is, and this is almost rhetorical, something to live with, not to answer right this second, but if there is a place for using the logo without the circle at all, just a question.
Yeah. I can just share right away what my feeling was. Is I felt she was a little too vulnerable. I didn't love it. I loved the impulse behind it, Ariana, and it wasn't so much a problem of like, oh my gosh, we need to change that. But somehow the circle feels really important energetically to me, that there's that sense of container.
Yeah. Cool.
Anybody else? We're going to just keep moving. Anybody else, Sarita, Marin, Anne-Marie, that want to say anything? And it's fine if not.
No.
Okay.
I mean, just to bring my voice in, I love the gold. I think the gold and black is beautiful. And I feel like it's a very simple but effective kind of modernization of the logo. It still really keeps the essence, but it feels really fresh. So I find it beautiful and appealing. And mostly I'm curious what you think ultimately, because that's what really matters, but I think it's beautiful. And I like the gold, and I like the gold whatever that is, that sparkles as it changes gradient.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say also, I really liked the gold, and that's been a question I've been having for a few months, is how to incorporate the gold, whether to use that as a primary branding color or, you know, what. But if we're Golden Bridge, it does feel important to use that somewhere in the color scheme. And I love the gradations as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's just keep looking, and we're not settling up on everything tonight, but I'm pretty in love with this. Even I just am. I really am. That the Golden Lady, which has been a motif for us throughout all our workshops, this Golden Lady, all of a sudden becomes the Golden Lady, and then possibly the and this was, I haven't looked at any of this, but possibly like the teal at the top, the Golden Lady doing the cancer work, because teal is that color of the ovarian cancer, or the gender work at the bottom. And that was just an experiment that they were going to bring back to us today. And we don't have to decide anything, but there may be a way to play with color with that. And it may not be. I kind of personally like the pure, just the pure, but let's see. We don't have to decide that right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it really comes down to, you know, let's like a final, you know, if we're on a website and there's just something that we need to highlight, something very faint, it could fade, it could just blend really nicely, yet have just a subconscious representation and conscious and subconscious representation. But it's always through the development of it, right? So typically when we look at this, like, okay, that could be nice, but I'm not really sure. I don't see it yet. But I think it could mean a lot. It could have so much more meaning as well to those that you're doing the work with, where they feel like they have ownership. They're part of the work because of the, you know, the connected color that makes that their relationship.
Yeah, that's our page kind of thing. Yeah, thank you, Rhonda.
Like a cape.
I think it depends. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think it really depends on the context, you know, like say with the rainbow one, it depends what other art is present. We may want just a simple gold one if there's a lot of rainbow color already in, you know, whatever other imagery we're using. But if we're not using a lot of other imagery, I think having the variations, and I caught that right away when I saw the rainbow and the teal. I knew where you were going with that. So I like
we're just experimenting. So let's peek around and see. So we then were talking about how do we take this logo that's familiar to people and create something that's, and Anne-Marie, I really want to hear what you have to say here, that indicates, hey, we're in the Golden Bridge space, but we're moving into something different, and it's that golden girl global. And before we even look at it, there's some reason to not have it be the same Golden Lady looking the same, just because then it becomes very gender specific. And believe it or not, we've gotten away with this character not being necessarily identified as a she. She's got a gender fluidity. She is accepted, or they is accepted, or Zir is accepted by all genders up to a point. So I just want to say that before we peek at what you got. And I didn't say that last week because I didn't have it in my mind. But I'd love to see what you were playing around with the Golden Girls Global, if you have some stuff.
Yeah. Let's see where they are. Now, some of them look quite busy. So there's been a lot of play, like 12 hours worth of just moving and playing and creating ideas behind it. First, she felt like there was a lot of fire going on. There was a lot of like, what are we creating here? Initially, it was that we maintain the main global dancing lady with others playing with her, but without even giving any more explanation if there's any kind of a feel. There's some other ideas that I have, but before we continue forward, it's important to get a feel.
Yeah, that bottom, the bottom left corner one for me just is, yeah, I love that.
Cool, that's great.
Yeah, that's the most.
You know, the others are kind of like, you don't sort of get a sense of what it is straight away, but the bottom left one, you just get this, you know, you just know what that's about.
I like, the two left ones I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
like
hear-
it. Yeah. There's a nice.
I'm
I
not.
too-
Go ahead. Go ahead,
struck,
please.
I too was struck by the bottom left one as being the most well balanced. They do
Yeah.
feel busy to me. And I would wonder if there's a way to space them out if you're going to start with the basic Golden Bridge logo, and put the other two to the left and the right of the circle, actually have them out of the circle. They do strike me as fairly feminine. So if you are, and I know this is Golden Girls, but possibility of just altering the shape a little bit. Not maybe quite as much butt or something, to make them a little less the idealistic, the ideal sort of modern feminine. Yeah.
Well, on that note, I just want to say the Golden Lady herself is so organic, and these feel a little more formulaic and almost like traditional ballet shapes, and that's so not the spirit. And I think that's what you're pointing to, Ariana. That's not the spirit of what this movement is, honestly. Although there may be ballet girls in there for sure. So I could tolerate the one on the left side of the Golden Lady, but to have it sort of replicated and opposite on the other side feels like it's really missing something pretty extreme. And I kind of go ahead, Mariah.
I don't know. What if you just took off the little I don't know what you want to call that.
Belt. Yeah, the waist.
Tutu. The tutu.
It looks like a tutu.
Like then it could be really like even different gender. I don't know. Just even that. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's definitely some other options that, we all can play with. It just when you start going down too far of the rabbit hole, you want to make sure you get a little bit of a balance from the start. I'm sure Ariana's like, yes, I know. Our designer's like, how deeper do you want us to go? Deeper, right? I thought that they were quite busy as well. And I really want to, find something that just makes us go, wow, this really represents all of these women that will be part of this. And I'm not sure that we've hit that, actually.
I don't actually feel we have. I'll be really straight up honest.
Yeah.
I'm not like, wow, I want to go there. And it almost could be like 3 ribbons. I'm just like the maple with 3 something.
Or this that had also been brought up as well. The Golden Girl, but she having something that has something that spreads, grander to like 3, holding something that has 3 ribbons or connecting.
Right on. Yeah. Right.
That just like where she's kind of reaching out, but it's still her, yet it has a different connection to more.
Well, what I would love to say is I don't want your person to put any more time into it. Let's live into it, all of us. And it will come to one of us. I just feel like something will come to one of us. And we're not urgent on this. Obviously, Anne-Marie is going to need something, and it may quite naturally come pouring out of you, Anne-Marie, that you can start to use when you get into putting that film together, but none of that's happening till August. And I just feel like let's dream this.
Yeah.
But this was a really kind of daring, honestly, start. You just kind of like said, okay, what's the trinity of this?
So and I think it's going to help us learn more too. Once we're really downloading more and learning more inside of the book, it'll help us also create a bit of ideas that we can ask questions more.
Okay.
Learn more.
Cool. Anybody want to add anything to this? Are you all up for just opening to the possibility of it coming through you? I mean, what this team knows how to do is like take some pretty good seed ideas and make something happen with it. So we good to let it rest?
I just had a question. There's 7 screens of images, and I think we've only seen 5 or 6. Were there anything else you wanted to show us?
Yeah,
Or should we
absolutely.
move on?
We just as we finished our call last week, Melissa, you mentioned a gold star. We didn't dive into
Yeah.
it at all, but we just thought we'd start playing around with some ideas, especially to look at in the coming months, as you're saying, and let it really grow. So we did start doing that, potentially something that could go with the 7 Cycles program.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's see it. And I should have given you a lot more information if I'd known you were
it's
going to
just a
fly.
starting point, and then
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, good. Okay.
So he was looking at kind of the gold star and how it could incorporate the 7 Cycles. Didn't go like too deep on it, so we could just get a real foundation, and you could go no or yes, or that could work if we did this.
Well, okay. I really want to work with the spiral and the 7 cycles. The golden star for us in Golden Bridge is really about a 5-pointed star, the head, the wings, and the feet. And we work with that. And I wish you had a copy of the book. It's upsetting to me that I can't get that to you.
Yeah.
You can't order that in Bali?
Yeah, I probably could. It just it comes down to shipping. That was our last conversation. Is it
right
just to the weight and the shipping it tends to be a challenge.
Is it since it's on Amazon? Is it available on Kindle?
No, it's not on Kindle.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's not waste everybody's time on that, but it feels really, well, you have all the graphics actually. I got them from Chelsea. Did I send them to you?
I don't think we've seen any of the stars, did we?
I believe I have sent all of them. Star, do you have them?
The spiral, are you talking about the spiral?
The spiral and the star on the pages and all that stuff.
I've seen the spiral. Jez has got the spiral, but I'm not sure about the star.
Okay, well, let's not waste everybody's time on that, but let's come back to that, okay? Yeah, but I do love the gold. There's no question about that. The gold is excellent. Let's definitely work with gold stars. And I think we spent forever, Sarita was part of it, finding a stylized star that we could like go with. And I don't see any reason to do much different with that than what we've got, to be honest.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, to have that.
Okay.
Before we move on, can I just ask a quick question? If we had to go back to the logos, I'm just thinking from a movement sort of film perspective. Is the lady? So would you say if we had to animate this and create like a graphic moving logo, for example? And Melissa, we can discuss this later. I don't know if we are going to go to do something like that. Would we say that the lady is getting in the circle or getting out the circle, or what is the movement?
Have you ever seen those people who dance in the circle and dance around or do hula hoop? Like,
yes.
She's doing all of it. It's fire. Okay. She's playing with fire. She's hula hooping. She's jumping through it. She's playing on it. I don't want to get too defined around that. I hate to say it.
And then the circle the circle's part of her, or does the circle come? Do you feel like she would be dancing and then the circle would come after and like encapsulate her, or do you think it would be her coming? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
I don't
like
totally ever see it coming into dynamism, to be honest. But what do I know?
But it's funny because Anne Marie, that was how I was like, oh my goodness, we could see her spinning in the middle or the circle a complete integrity, where she's protected. I think you and I, we'll just hold on to that and maybe present Melissa with something because she wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like simpler than that to say, even though this is very fancy and elegant. I understand sometimes characters do something that's kind of cute and fun, but I'm not sure that I want to spend time, energy, and money on that. I'm just saying, because there's so much else moving that the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if you had to do a top and tail on a video and the logo ends, it could be like a really simple like swish, and then anyway, we can talk about that.
Well, then she'd be like a shooting star out.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just what comes to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The nice thing about this logo is that you could, it's a very beautiful, simple. The nice thing about this logo is that it could animate really beautifully, I think.
I could see something like however she comes in, maybe fades in, or maybe, I could see that circle kind of spiraling into place. but not really like enlarging or smalling, just kind of spiraling in, kind of like use a shooting star. The circle itself could come in like a circular shooting star. Just gently, gracefully, simply.
Yeah.
I have,
Yeah.
I have a question, Sarita over here. I'm just wondering, I guess I'm just like trying to wrap my mind around where the logo's going in relationship to Golden Girls Global, and the circle has always been itself, and I just keep seeing like a really light silhouetted globe moving in to, like, it's like the Golden Girl but going global, and it's like that circle is like it's like super light silver, like she's still gold, but the globe kind of comes into focus behind her. It's just something that's coming, and this isn't anything. So.
That's beautiful, sweetie. And that could be Soma Source in the World also.
Yeah.
That could be Soma Source in the World, which is more my inclination, that there's like these pure initiatives that come straight out of Golden Bridge, and then the background changes, and maybe Golden Girl Global has to just be a different background, like the teal is, or the rainbow, or the globe is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Let's live into that. It could also be their sweet faces, a million faces coming up. And, I don't know. We're all just throwing ideas out.
Yeah.
There's nothing as beautiful as those faces, actually. I mean, that's the faces.
Nothing. I mean, we've seen it on a million other things, but it's still very powerful, especially because we're not getting them off of iPhotos. There are real people. So, Anne-Marie, this is where you get to, after you meet and everything, we get to really work on this and dream this. And is it worth showing everybody what you did with Hannah? Can you pull that up here easily?
My daughter? I mean, or
no.
Hannah. I was like,
Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
Oh, your daughter's Hannah too?
It's just like, really, it's just a flyer though. It's not a...
Right. Okay.
I can find it and send it. I'm not sure. I've just taken everything off my computer at the moment because it was crashing with no space, but I will find it on my drive and send it.
Okay. So maybe
just go
ahead, please.
When you were talking about all those faces, and Rhonda will obviously know so much more about this stuff than me, but I think if you're looking at creating this like brand identity that's going to be, I don't know how to say it, like not mainstream, but it's something where eventually you don't have to see the words Golden Bridge. You want to see this amazingly clean, super clear, uncluttered emblem that represents a global organization. I think the faces are so human and beautiful, but you won't know that it's Golden Bridge. So I think that moving into the direction where you create this emblematic logo where you don't even have to see Golden Bridge and it's Golden Bridge is probably strategically, I don't know, I think a better route to go.
Awesome. Great.
Great feedback.
So before we close, and just, I feel like it'd be good to do a little show and tell. Some of you have seen this, some of you haven't. Rhonda, do you have more you want to show us tonight?
This is what we have prepared for tonight, and
okay.
There was a few other ideas that we had for the Golden Girls, and that maybe we can play with that now that we've gotten some feedback of some ideas. We just didn't want to go too deep until we had some front ends.
Yeah, I don't want you to go too deep. I actually feel like it's got to be inspired, and
and I don't otherwise being created and forced.
Yeah. I just feel like let's let her emerge, or them emerge. I'd love to show you all just what Culture Foundry's done, because this is setting the tone, this plus the logo, for what will come in this new iteration of Golden Bridge online presence. And so I'd love to just take a peek at that. Many of you've seen it, but not all. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
Yep. So this is the one that is, where did it go? Shoot. There it is. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Everybody sees that?
The homepage.
So this is this awesome font. This is the logo that we're not going to use. But this is just some of their imagery that they put together. I'm going to figure out how to get these pictures somewhere else so I can scroll through this. Obviously, we're not going to do up close to Melissa's wrinkles, but there's the gold.
Why
and
not?
The black and the white. I know, Ariana. So, but here's what we're working with. And we asked Trevor to make a few changes just so we could really feel happy about what's happening. But this is the gold and this is the black and the white. And I really give Trevor credit for this because I had the vision and he just actually got it. He caught it. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't love some of the stunted gold things. There's a way to bring it out more fully. And then the impulse was that when we would click on a site, it would come to life in color. Mm. And yeah, these are just some of the images that he threw together in the black and white with quotes at every bottom of every page. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And just, I love this font. And, you know, this is what he threw together. Mm-hmm. I don't think he threw it together, but this is what I'm pretty in love with this and feel really good about this. And I know I'd love to hear if anybody has any, I mean, obviously we need to see it really refined. This one to me looks like it's the most harmonious, this one. This one feels totally harmonious, the way it's been done. What it says is not relevant right now, but we thought as headers that we would have maybe 5 key images, 5 key phrases of the scope of what Golden Bridge does with the gold, and then that gorgeous new logo and such up there, and then how we scroll into the whole site up there. So I just wanted to show you all that. Yeah, these are some of the ways.
Did he send you a live site to go to, or did he send you?
No, we don't have access to that live site at this time.
Okay.
At all.
But he created one.
Yeah, and if we chose to have them do the website, we can get after this stuff. They gave us all the colors, what this stuff is, and if we want them to make it happen, they will. But in the meantime, this is the model of what they've developed.
Cool. It's pretty beautiful. I mean, there's some refinement, especially with looking at the other logo and the gold choices. I think that's a really, my just first hit is that's a really cool direction, and I like it. I like, you said that when you hover over those like gallery photos that they'll come into full color.
Well, that's an idea of how we can do this, and I love it. That basically we're black, white, and gold, and then we just come to color when you click on something.
And how do you feel? Do you love the sort of the paint brushes?
I do.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Rhonda does. I do. Sarita does.
Yep.
And I think they nailed the goal too.
We do painting, you know, in the programs. So I think it fits with, you know, we are hands-on multimedia, you know, we do art as well. So
cool.
I think it's great. I mean, I would have some questions in terms of platform, what they're using, and you know, I'd want to know more about it and research it. And we'd all probably, Rhonda, you'd probably want to know as well if you're helping anyone who's helping implement some of these further systems. But that's obviously a conversation for further down.
So thank you, Ariana. That's for sure. That's partially why I thought you would maybe want to stay on the call longer. I just want to check in with Mariah, who's on East Coast time and she's probably getting ready for bed, and Sarita and Maren, who've had these crazy long days. Is there anything that you want to see or chat about before you hang up? I just really wanted you to know these people for them to know you, because at some point, some of you will be having the dialogues or sending stuff and such after the summer. Is there anything either of the three of you, or Anne-Marie, you probably want to go back to bed for a minute.
Oh, no. Well, now I'm like all energized.
Well, then stay on, baby. But is there, those of you who are about to go call this long day over, is there anything the three of you want to say or ask before you jump off?
I guess I would say that I know that we're going to have to be, and I don't know, maybe with Rhonda, we're probably going to have to be very connected when it comes to making sure that the aesthetic of the films sit and are in line with the aesthetic direction of the brand. So I'm just going to say, you know, I need to make sure that I'm sort of, I know where you're going, so we don't start shooting in a way that just looks completely mismatched. So I guess we'll have to connect at some point.
Really happy to connect with you in that, because we also produce film. You know, our company is also in production, and so we take the essence of the brand story and pull it through into brand film and their content films. And so you and I can, you know, along with Melissa, just have that connection between how we want that opening, those opening scenes and the development, and how the angles and the, you know, and how you want it to close. And all these are just so vitally important for the brand to be represented. And it's really going to come from that vision, for, I think, also from Melissa, of how she wants it to feel and how she wants them to be seen as well. And I think that's understanding film and knowing where we want to go with the brand. I think we'll be able to really nail that. And, you know, let's find what your vision is as the filmmaker, because I always just love and respect the filmmakers, their visions, because you have the eye of the essence of the person you've been filming, and you see them so much differently than we do.
Well, and that's why I said the word alchemy at the beginning. Anne-Marie, I feel like you're actually next in line. You're coming here and you're going to get to play right out of your own creative genius. And I feel like that's going to shape a bunch of things going forward, what you actually see when you start relating to these people and you get your camera going. So I just want to say, for Golden Girls Global, you direct it, and obviously it needs to have a smooth interface with everything else, but we now see where that logo's going. We see what the website's going to look like. It's you know, there's something very raw and up close and in your face and real about it all. And then it has to have some breathing room. I mean, I understand, and we are not going to be able to put everything into a slick little, totally unified thing, because we have so much historic material that's really precious that has to be part of our future website, even if we have an you know, archives, and we call it that. So, you know, that's kind of the problem, but it's also just going to have to become an asset. And even when you're making a film, there's going to be archival footage and new footage. And when we do this little film project with the show this summer, we're going to have, you know, the quality filming of the show and then handheld cameras as part of the storytelling, along with, you know. So I just want to say, yes, we could have a talk, the three of us, and I would be so happy and honored to hang out with listening to the two of you. And I feel like it's still emerging.
Well, I also see the film, oh, sorry, love. I just see the film that she's creating into the course that you have, that we'll need to make sure we have, because these are the films that will just align with the way the content's laid out and how it can contribute. So.
And also these are like springboard tools, because I think that you have an archive of stories, and this is just to invite. So you have this new beautiful platform, and these films are more about like inviting the viewer or the audience or the potential new people to go and explore the platform, to find the other videos that actually tell the story of the work, rather than, you know, you're absolutely right. It is an asset to have all that amazing archive of material. It's just about activating people to go and look at it. So these are more, I think that's how I see these kind of like little spotlight feature pieces of content that are like beautiful and sit with brand and invite people to go and explore more content in the platform, wherever that might sit.
And I think what thank you for that. And that really rings true. And I think what Rhonda's also saying is, if we're going to do a course, you know, take this book and turn it into something, that the little videos of me speaking and how we roll that out wants to be kindred to the new material coming out through all portals. And I just want to say this black, white, and gold is kind of going to be the hallmark of that work now. And we may decide that I'm always wearing black and white for every time I speak, and I'm on a certain kind of thing, and there's a streak of gold somehow through it. I mean, I don't know, or whatever.
Oh, my daughter is a fashion designer, so we could just create the whole, Golden Bridge clothing line.
No, Global Girl, totally. I mean, Susanna's, who's not on this call, is all about, we got to make a clothing line for Golden Girls Global. Mariah, were you going to say something? Look at Mariah's arm, everybody.
That's the
She's
golden.
dancing all over the world, right here.
Seriously, that's like I love my mom tattoo or something.
There's no circle around that. I noticed, Mariah.
I know. I had to look. I was like, oh, it doesn't have a circle. Yeah.
She's free.
That chick is on the move. Okay.
I was gonna. I was just gonna say something. The nice thing about black and white and gold is that it pretty much goes with everything. So Melissa, you can wear whatever you want. We can add pictures of like any color on the website. I mean, in the right context, of course. I love that it presents as black and white and gold, but then that there is still, it opens up into color. So yeah.
Just saying, huh, Ariana?
Just saying.
Red lipstick. Okay. Anything else, you all, before maybe we do just one round of practicalities with Rhonda and Ariana? I feel like there's just one moment of web practicalities I want to have. Is there anything else anybody wants to say? I think we should schedule Anne-Marie and Rhonda at some point. You two might be easier to schedule without me. Is there any?
Yeah, I've just been putting together, obviously these are things that I'm going to send you later today, just in terms of our production stuff, but putting together a content overview document that sort of tries to articulate the idea of how we might explore framing and picture and portrait and compositions and stuff like that. So maybe that's something I can share with Rhonda as well. And now having seen the screen grabs of your website and seeing the way things are going, I think that that's also making me realize that maybe the conversations I was having with my DOP today is it's actually completely in line in terms of the lighting and stuff. So that'll be cool to share with you and see what you think.
Great.
I just will come out with a concluding thought. Thanks, Melissa, for bringing us all together. This is really exciting, and it does feel good to meet everybody, since likely much information will be exchanged in the digital realm. And the only piece I want to add is, I just thought of it as you mentioned, you and Ariana and Rhonda speaking about some of the more technical aspects of the web development. Is something that just continues to be on my mind, is how much content we want to put in the website that will need to be updated regularly. Like the projects people are doing around the world are kind of constantly, like we can almost update those twice a year, and like our leader bios, and just as the platform is getting built, something I just keep coming back to is how can we make it more easy to update, and then not so it's not all on Ariana either, because currently Ariana is really the only person that can do web updates, which is great. And if we're going to be putting this much more content in, it would be great if even Srita or I had, if it was simple enough that we could keep it refreshed regularly. So for what that's the operations perspective, is figuring out how to not just make it beautiful, but very easy to change.
And that's partly a feature of, we just haven't made the time, because Martha used to be able to update the website, and like I barely gave her anything but a login. So just making the time, an in-person or screenshot tutorial to do that for you or Sarita. Of course, if we're moving to a new platform, then that's something we'll have to keep in mind for all of us, is usability. I was going to say one more thing. But there's two functions. One is just giving access and learning how to do it, which is really something that we can make time to do, which I think we just haven't, because we've been in such transition, So perhaps once we land into something more solid, it'll be easier for us to make that time. But you mentioned some of the pages that haven't been updated, and part of that is also making time to look at the site, because we don't actually have the content for a lot of those pages yet to update them.
So I want to this will be a great place to close, and then I'd really like our last 5 minutes or so to be with Rhonda and Ariana just for one beat, which is the timeline is in after the summer that I and whoever else is involved in this, we're really going to take the work we did with Culture Foundry, we have a big meeting with the SomaSource leaders in July. And I'm just going to have that kind of psychic space that we need to really get clear on what the map is that needs to happen on that website. And, you know, with whomever the team is. And that's just going to be a 6-month process. And I'm prioritizing it, just saying. And I've never prioritized it. And I'm really inspired to do that. So thank you for pointing to that. Anybody else have anything they want to add? I just want Ariana and Rhonda to have one conversation about platforms. Is there anything else? Okay. So Ariana, Anne-Marie and Rhonda, you're actually emailed in touch now, but I'll underscore it after this call. Okay.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Real excited for the work that you're doing.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Night. See you tomorrow.
Great to meet with everyone.
I know it's our morning. Everyone's going to bed.
Anne-Marie, we can talk like soon. I don't know when we're scheduled, but I look forward to it. And you're welcome to stay on if you want, obviously. Nope.
Well, I'll leave you guys, but we're speaking tomorrow, I think.
Okay,
And
good.
then,
Oh yeah, first thing in the morning.
Chatting with Rhonda, if you want me to stay, that's absolutely fine. You just let me know.
Well, no, I don't think you need to. We're really just going to talk about platforms.
Okay, cool. Well, good
but
luck.
I do want, we've got 4 minutes, so it'll be brief. Okay. See you in a few hours. Bye. Okay, have a good day. So I am aware that, Rhonda, you're totally connected to a whole website scene. We've got Culture Foundry that's just poised over here.
Do we even
and
know
Ariana,
what they used?
I think that, no, I can find all that out, but I think it probably is Squarespace. I just have that feeling, but I'll double check that. And Ariana, if you could tell 2 things. One is Rhonda needs, if she's going to start working on that book piece, Rhonda needs to see, I sent her a bunch of the photographs, but there may be a few that I'm missing. And I'm wondering for like Ground of Being, Heart of Truth, all those things. We have some standard pictures of those. And I'm just wondering if you've got anything that you could, is there a way that for me to access those? I'm trying to find them, but you may have a place where they are, or we could just ask you to send the ones you have.
What format are you looking for? Are you just looking for the image? I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. Yeah.
Rhonda, what format are you? Or Star, what format?
Yeah, JPEG or PNG files, because we're working on creating designing the book, the ebook, so that it's something that's delivered. We can take all the content and really bring true life form images in that content. So high resolution files, however you have them saved.
Melissa, are you specifically referencing like the images we use on the postcards?
Well, no, only the ones right now that are relevant for the phases of the work. And
of the work.
Like the root system for Ground of Being and the flag for creative liberation, which I've sent them those.
Right, okay.
So that's just something I just want to file that at some point we're going to need. The other thing is So in terms of platforms, Rhonda, you said something the other day that you thought might be a good platform for this project. Do you have a sense of that, or is that not really your expertise, or what are your thoughts?
But it, not, I wasn't speaking in terms of websites. When we're building product, typically I would always assume the website to really be on the WordPress platform no matter what. I don't know if, Ariana, you have any?
I've never used anything but WordPress since I moved out of, writing code. Yeah, exactly. And I still write code, mind you.
No, thank you. None of that is my expertise whatsoever. No. Although, we have really amazing groups and teams that do work on the site side. But yeah, I would say, of course, we would only work on WordPress just because it's functionality and its history. But what I was speaking
I don't know about Squarespace.
Okay, we're done.
All I know is that WordPress can basically interface with anything.
Everything. That's right.
Okay, done. I don't even want to have another conversation. Yeah. I trust the two of you, and I'm thrilled that you're resonant with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Now, when it comes to the course side of it all, there are a few platforms I was speaking of that we design and build on because of the functionality of it. Like we use a platform called ClickFunnels because it's very marketing based and very easy to create and design and for marketing and for sellable things because it's connected to checkout forms, order forms, things such as that are all in one system. So we use software called ClickFunnels, and then also there's another software program called Kajabi as well that is very all inclusive when it comes to course material, putting together a course. And we want something that's always very up to date and modern, but it's also user friendly, that is good for selling. You are going to be needing to take orders and it's much more organized in that sense, if you will, because everything's all encompassed. So we would just be looking at the reason why I said there could be another platform is because of the design work that I want yours to be able to be expressed by, which now knowing what the website is, we want something to be really classy and have no marketing feel whatsoever, right? So it's got to have that classy feeling. And that's why we were leaning towards this platform called Kajabi. But again, there's also amazing membership sites and product connections to WordPress, right? Like what is it called? Members. Do you know the names of those, Ariana?
I don't.
Yeah, where you can develop your product and course inside connected to a WordPress platform. So that could also be the right way that we go. But the only reason why I say maybe not is because of the question that Marin had, which was, if we want to update things, we want it to be user-friendly. And that's where gets challenging on the WordPress side. I never log in my own website, ever. But I'm every day in my ClickFunnels and my product side because I can change things instantly, very easy. So that's why we kind of weigh out, who's going to be in, who's going to be managing. And I believe it was, who is the one that's going to be working in the product side of it all? Was it you, Ariana, right? Is it you or no? Who was it that you said, I want to make sure they are understanding and connected because they're the ones that would be, managing these platforms or understanding if there's changes that need to be made?
Well, it is primarily Ariana, but I think it's very smart to have more than Ariana knowing how to do it.
Yeah. So that's how we would just decide on the course side of it all. That's why these platforms like Kajabi and ClickFunnels are so simple, because they're set up for, marketers or someone to put their course together and then be able to manage it in a very high class and high level way. So
my only question would be, I guess this is kind of twofold, but how does the URL for that relate to goldenbridge.org? And can it, if it can't be integrated right into goldenbridge.org, do you think it can be done in such a way that that it's still aesthetically connected? Because I've seen where people use, subsites, but I guess my main question is the URL. So it doesn't feel like they're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's really important. And that's, well, we use either a subdomain, which in WordPress you can use a subdomain, right? It would be goldenbridge.org / or it would be course.goldenbridge.org, right? If you're using a subdomain with
Fair enough.
WordPress. Or we connect and forward a domain to the platform, right? So like, my daughter's Hanale's hanaleswan.com, but hers is Hanale Swan Store, which then connect with her stores or course. So that would mean just either looking at domains where it's a connected domain to the course name, and it's either maintaining the integrity of Golden Bridge, and then we just have a domain that's forwarded. That's where I get where you're coming from, is when you go to platform, now you've got a completely different, they're moving somewhere. Right. And
which you may want in some capacity, to some degree, because you want them to just be in this learning world away from like all the distractions that they could learn from on the Golden Bridge site. But at the same time, you want them to be able to return, anyway. So,
okay. Yeah. So Rhonda, thank you. I'm so, I'm looking at the Kajabi right now, Kajabi. And from what I just sort of deduced from what you both said, that Kajabi could be where the class is rolled out, but that still then interfaces with WordPress beautifully. Yeah, because they're trying to sell a website platform too on Kajabi. No. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're not going there. Okay, so I know our time is up. Rhonda, what would be anything that you want to ask or say for me until we have one more meeting? No, we're done. Is this it? No, we have one more meeting.
Well, it could be. We were actually, that's what Victoria and I were looking at. We said, like, if you have capacity, then we can, reconnect so that during July, we can be working on the things that we were already focusing on the content end, right? So the ladies went through and Starwin started to bring some things together so that when it comes to the lead magnet, if you will, that we wanted to design, we could begin working on that throughout July. So if you want to have one more meeting on that, if you have the capacity.
I do next Monday. I definitely do.
Let's do that. We were ready for that. We wanted to do that because I'd love to now that we're meeting the team, now we could be working on the back end while you are a busy dancing lady.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So, and Starwin, did you find the 4 eyes of oppression and the all that stuff, that the stop process?
The 4 eyes of oppression and the 7 cycles. Yeah.
No, and the stop process, STOP, because that's what we want to put together. The 4 eyes of oppression and the stop process into this. I will have to add some writing to bring it to life, to weave those 2 parts of the book together. But that's what this launch piece would be. Ariana, we're just trying to put one piece of curriculum together that in the new packaging as a way of a lead. I don't know what the right language is, but that sounds right.
That sounds right.
Okay, and if you want to send me any notes of assignments of things you want me working on, I'd be great. I'd be happy to try and do that. And thank you all. That was just important for the bigger conversation.
I know they just walked in, so I was saying.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
She'll love this. Show Melissa your new pants. There's a gorgeous designer here that does amazing work as well. Look at these are all photos.
Oh my gosh, Mariah, that's Mariah's clothing. That's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous.
Friendly designer. So she's ethical designer. She's working.
Sadly, these prints can't be made on eco-friendly materials. But
I know that.
It's best to do ethical work.
Will you send me a link to your website so I can see what you're up to?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, hanaleswan.com. We'll send it over to you. She's doing some updates now. But she's
good.
Yeah, she just spoke at the New Earth Festival of all the kings of Indonesia that have never been in one space ever. And Hanale was the voice of change for planet change and choosing before you buy, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Good job. Okay. Yay. Okay. So step by step, we're finding our way. I'm glad everybody's coming onto the same page, and let's create a beautiful one at that.
Let's do it, ladies. So lovely to meet you, Ariana. Really excited to meet you more.
Okay.
All right, ladies, have a good night. Be unstoppable. We're gonna